Hey guys, it's time for another game of Colonial Twilight, the latest incarnation from the coin series. Before I get into it, I thought I would quickly do a board size comparison with Cuba Libra, Volume 2 in the coin series. And let's get that board out and just see how they shape up size-wise. So here we go, and boy, had I forgotten how small the Cuba Libra board was compared to the other coin games. It's vastly smaller than Colonial Twilight, despite the fact that this is a 1 to 4 player game and Algeria is a 1 to 2 player game. So yes, that's intriguing in itself. Reminds me of how beautiful the board for Cuba Libra is. In fact, all the coin boards are really pleasant to look at, if not a bit bright at times. In fact, that's one of the things I like about Colonial Twilight. The browns and the tans look very cool as well. So I just wanted to have a quick comparison board wise of the two games. At the moment, I'm thinking I'm going to let go of some of my other coin games and give them to more deserving owners who will get them to the table, because I can see Colonial Twilight and Cuba Libra getting played by me fairly regularly, but the other ones will probably struggle to get to the table. And it's that age-old question for wargamers: do I keep hanging on to this game in the hope I'll play it sometime, or should I just move it along? Certainly, if I had the space, I would love to have all my coin games up in my library, but that's not possible at the moment because I don't have that much space in this small apartment. Anyway, that's a quick look at the two boards for Colonial Twilight and Cuba Libra, my two favourite coin games at this point in time. So I'll be back shortly with a session report, I imagine, for this game of Colonial Twilight. So here's a quick look at the setup for the short scenario. That's the suggested scenario for playing versus the AI, and you can see that at this point of the game, the French have a strong army presence in Algiers, supported by some Algerian troops, and towards the west of the country, the mountainous areas here are pretty much under government control, with limited police presence in these sectors. Couple of the major sectors in the centre there, Ain Usera and Sidi Azisa, both not controlled by any faction. And towards the west of the country, it's more of a mixed bag, with government control down in the green, but the action is heating up in Souik, Arras, and in some of the other sectors here in the east of the country. Strong troop presence in Philippeville, but the FLN are massing guerrillas in Tunisia and in Morocco. Okay, so that's the setup for the short scenario. The government have the coup d'etat pivotal event, and the FLN have the OAS, and recall de Gaulle is in effect in play. Okay, so we'll give you some reports as I work my way through this second game of Colonial Twilight. Okay, so this is the situation at the drawing of the first propaganda card, and victory point wise, the FLN are on 16 opposition plus bases, and I am, as the government, on 20 support plus commitment. So I got a bit of a hammering there the last couple of cards because the FLN were playing some good event cards, which sort of hurt me a little bit there. But just taking a look at the situation on the ground in Algeria, scanning through. The FLN are holding a strong presence in Tizi Ouzou and Bougé, and they've just managed, through the play of an event card, they took control of Algiers as well. So those are their strong points on the game board. Otherwise, they're pretty thin on the ground, with a large number out of play and in the casualties box. As far as the government forces go, I've just conducted an operation in Sétif before the round ended, and cleaned out a base there and enemy there. I'm not sure if it was a great idea though, because it's a pop zero space, and I'm not that well set up for the propaganda round either, I don't think. Okay, so that's the beginning of the propaganda round. Let's go through the phase and come back to the situation at the end of the propaganda round. Okay, so we've been through the propaganda phase, and just looking at the map very briefly, I've concentrated my troops in Sétif with a view to maybe heading into Bouget, or using them in one of these three strong areas here. And I'm looking at getting my forces into Algiers and taking that city back as soon as possible. So tracks on again. Op plus base is 19 and support plus commitment 22, so pretty close there. Although FLN are closer to their victory margin than I am. Otherwise, everything's just dispersed around Algeria as usual. Okay, so that's the end of the first campaign. We'll be flipping over for the first event card of the second campaign, and it's Suave We Puede. Okay, we'll come back to you at the end of this next campaign phase. Okay, so we've just drawn the second propaganda card, and let's take a look at the geography of Algeria at this stage before we go through the propaganda phase. So we have 6 FLN bases out on the map, only 2 in Algeria, and the rest are in Tunisia and Morocco. And let's sweep across. Let's have a look at what's going on here. So control to the government in Soukaraz and Sétif, and we've just taken control in Constantine, but the FLN still hold Tizi Ouzou and Bouget very strongly. We've got back control of Algiers, and there's been no action in Iran at all, and certainly in the west of the country the government is predominantly in control throughout this area here. And we are both on 1 resource, with opposition and bases at 16 and support and commitment at 21. So let's carry out the propaganda phase, and then I'll give you an update after that. So this is the situation at the end of the propaganda round phase, and the FLN are on 16 op plus bases, and I'm on 24 support and commitment. And this is the state of the map as we scan across from the east to the west. I still hold Soukaraz very strongly. Lost control in Philippeville, got control back in Constantine. There's the FLN stronghold, but some of my troops are poised there to take them out, and but I find that as I prepare to make the moves to get attacks going on these guerrillas, they just rally back before I get a chance. Often is the case. And scanning back out east, very much government controlled out there as well. Okay, so that's the situation at the end of the second propaganda round. Oh, interestingly enough, so I'm only on 15 resources, having spent a few on in the propaganda phase, and the FLN are on 5 resources, so low resources all around here. So that'll be interesting. We may be hampered in what we can do. Okay, back with the next one shortly. Okay, so we've just drawn the third propaganda phase, and it's 2:50 in the morning as well. This is the situation on the map just before we go through this phase to determine victory. But I certainly know it's not coming my way, because at the moment I'm on 21 support and commitment, and the FLN are on 16 op and bases, and we're both on minimal resources. But looking at the map, here we go, we'll just scan around quickly. So I'm not sure why, but just absolutely very little happened around the western part of Algeria completely. It just didn't happen around there at all. All the action was centered up through here. Okay, so that's the situation. We'll just do the count for the propaganda phase, the few steps, and then we'll come back and work out the victory margin. Okay, we've done the propaganda phase through to support, and this is the state of the play. I have ended up with 22 support and commitment, and ops and bases are at 14. So 22 from 35 gives me a difference of 13, or minus 13. 14 from 30 is a difference of 16. So minus 13 to minus 16, that's a 3 difference. And a 3 difference is a negotiated future. Algeria does win a form of independence from France, but neither the stability nor good governance of the new country is guaranteed. Okay, so there we are. Second short scenario playthrough. Thoroughly enjoyed it, getting better at it. Still haven't grokked the best way to deal with it. I think next game I'm going to really hammer the guerrillas and try and get as many as possible into the casualties early on in the game to stifle their ability later on to do things. That'll be my tactics next time. But I enjoyed it. It's coming together. I'm getting a bit quicker at operating the AI. So there we go, Colonial Twilight, and it's 3:15 in the morning. I've got to pack this up and get to bed. Thanks for watching, guys.